We take you live now to Queen's Park, where Ontario Liberal MPP Rob Cerjanec is commenting on the GO Transit derailment and the communication issues with Metrolinx.
And that major disruptions cannot always be predicted. But what people don't accept is being left in the dark when they rely on public transit to get to work or home to their family's safety. Clear, honest, and timely communication, it must be treated as an essential part of service delivery. And that means being proactive, thinking ahead. When communication is vague or delayed, it leaves commuters unable to plan or make informed choices. And this isn't something new. And it makes you wonder, is Metrolinx directing their own communications? Or is it coming straight from the Minister of Transportation's office or even the Premier's office? Now, Metrolinx is a provincial agency, and political leadership in this government should be setting that direction. Right now, it's not. The province is nowhere to be found. Now, I've been hearing directly from transit riders in Ajax and Durham Region and all across the GTA who feel abandoned, and they're losing confidence in Metrolinx. They're losing confidence in the information that they receive or the lack thereof. Some of my residents have said, this is not a minor inconvenience. There's still no transparency, no firm schedule, no accountability. And this is after the derailment happened. So in the days since, there were changes to service schedules. And residents, time and time again, they've been left in the dark. Now, as someone who's elected, I was also left without timely, accurate information during this disruption. I have to rely on the media to understand Metrolinx's response on an issue impacting my constituents. I know the CEO, I guess, might post from time to time on LinkedIn, but I don't think that's an effective communication strategy when we're talking about the hundreds of thousands of people that rely on and take the GO train every single day. Now, I reached out to Metrolinx a few days ago, asking them how and when schedule changes are communicated to riders. I received complete silence from them. Members of provincial parliament, regardless of party, should be made aware of major incidents and be provided with clear information. At the same time, that information is being shared with the public. And this isn't an isolated incident. As an MPP, I've dealt with this before when inquiring about transit projects and delays. I've introduced 2 petitions calling on Metrolinx to review project delays and provide clear timelines for completion. It's almost like the province is afraid to give the public the truth. They're afraid to speak to the public on these issues that don't fit within their predefined communications narrative. And just this morning, the Premier said they will not launch an inquiry into the Eglinton East LRT or how we build transit projects in this province. Ontario Liberals have been calling for this, and many others have been calling for this as well. In fact, in December, I introduced a petition in the legislature calling on this. People want answers and updates, and the province, frankly, they won't provide them. So, where do we go? Metrolinx should be providing clear updates to the public. MPPs should be informed of every impact that affects their riding during major disruptions. That should include what's happened, what's being done, and realistic timelines for service restoration. This pattern of invisible or unclear information, it undermines public trust in Metrolinx and the government's oversight of our transit system. So that's why I'm urging today the Minister of Transportation to review Metrolinx communication protocols for major disruptions, but also how they communicate with the public. You know, there used to be a time when Metrolinx was able to communicate clearly and openly. It built trust with transit riders, but over the last few years, that's changed. We've seen the Premier's office control what Metrolinx says and does, and it's up to the Premier to answer to that. Transit riders are asking for something that's very simple, a system that's reliable, but one that's also honest with them when things go wrong. Thank you. Happy to take some questions.
Rob, on the Eglinton Crosstown LRT, you mentioned that there should be a public inquiry. I'm wondering, what do you think the province or the public would learn from a public inquiry?
I think we would learn a couple things. I think we would learn how we construct transit projects in this province and what can be improved. I think we heard the Premier today talk during his press conference that we need to build fast, that we need to build quick. So what are the lessons that the province is learning in order to do that? It's just communications right now from the province.
But the government says that, they've already learned those lessons and they're applying them to other projects. I'm wondering, from a future government perspective, do you think that there is something there for other parties that they could learn from this project?
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, it's our money. It's taxpayers' money that's paying for these projects. We should be able to understand how that money's being spent and how effectively or not it is. it's the delay overruns that happen, but it's the cost overruns that happen as well. When we look at transit projects here in Ontario compared to other parts in the Western world, places like France, places like Spain, they're able to build transit projects quicker and more affordably. We're not able to do that here. We need an inquiry into how we build these projects. We need an inquiry into the Eglinton Crosstown so that decision makers, every decision maker, can get that information, the public can get that information, and you in the media can get that information as well.
Isn't it enough, though? I mean, the Premier argues they know what's wrong. They knew what happened, and they were dealing with it in real time. Is that enough, do you think, for a transit agency like Metrolinx to have learned its own lessons and apply those lessons? Why should the public know about those too?
I don't think it's enough. This is a Premier that says, trust us and we'll take care of the details. I mean, they're saying that with the Skills Development Fund. They're saying that with so many different aspects of how this province is managing, whether it's transportation, healthcare, education. They're saying, trust us. We have all the information and we're going to make the best decisions. But we see in the impact of that, they're not making the best decisions. So that's why that information should be public. It's for all of us then to be able to read it.
We've been listening to Ontario Liberal MPP Rob Cerjanec commenting on the recent GO Transit derailment, some of the issues surrounding it, and the communication issues with Metrolinx. We'll have more on what was said throughout the morning and afternoon.